This episode is dedicated to the memory of the Iron Sheik. Hey everyone, welcome back. It is time for another wrestling review on a Wednesday. This time we are doing NXT's Battleground. The shows are progressively getting better. It started off on a low point with Double or Nothing. If you haven't seen that review, go back and watch that review, then come back and watch this one. But make sure you watch all the reviews because they're good. With me once again, we have Campo Reviews, the man who reviews movies, TV shows, and now wrestling. Back once again, and this time back to NXT. And I find NXT is progressively, slightly, a little bit getting better.
Well, we called it at the end of last year. I've probably said it 100 times now. We said this was going to be the year of Impact in NXT. And It started off really bad for both of our predictions.
And now it's getting better.
They're both like two of the top companies right now for pay-per-view events. So
let's get right into it then. We are going to go with the first match of the night, which was a triple threat match. Tyler Bate, Joe Gacy, and Wesley for the NXT North American Championship.
This one was kind of weird for me because I have trouble giving a shit about Joe Gacy.
But he was good.
He was good, but there's nothing about him that like pulls me in. You know what I mean?
They're trying to make another Bray Wyatt for him.
Which I understand that, and that's fine. I think Schism is kind of cool.
Yeah.
But I do think whatever her name is,
Ava Raine, The Rock's daughter,
so bad. Like everything about her is just bad.
Yeah, I think they're pushing her hard because the fact that she's The Rock's daughter.
I believe I mentioned to you at one point that she looked like a bootleg someone, but I literally can't remember off the top of my head what I said.
I remember that now. I can't remember either, but yes.
I'll go look. Well, we continue talking about this match.
But yeah, I mean, this was a good match. You have two friends of Bate and Wesley. They kind of hit each other in the previous weeks that led to this match, and Joe Gacy was trying to kind of drive the wedge between them, thinking that this would be his chance to win the belt. Wesley retains, but it was still a solid match.
It was.
And it was. Other than that, like, there's not much to say about it. It was a match, and at least
Tyler Bate is so underappreciated.
Yeah, he wasn't called up to the main, was he?
No, and he should have been.
Yeah. But I mean, next we're sticking with the British here. We got Noam Dar with Oro Mensah against Dragon Lee with Nathan Fraser.
I hate this gimmick. I hate it. The gimmick of this match, whatever this match is.
The Noam Dar, the Heritage Cup.
Yeah, it's so stupid. It's such a stupid thing. And the way it ends too, it's like you expect that this is a way that they're trying to put some shine on Dragon Lee.
What's her name? Jakara Jackson and Lash LaRue or whatever her name is.
Just dumb. And but it was a good enough match.
Yeah.
I'll tell you right now, I don't even know who Noam Dar is or if we've ever talked about him before.
I know who he is. You haven't. He was kind of big in NXT UK.
He's once again another type of character that doesn't pull me in. Like, I just don't care. Like, he's on the screen and I'm like, okay, I don't care about what's happening. And it's weird. But the match was pretty good. I just think to keep using Dragon Lee in these situations where his job is to put other people over when he just got to the company to be like your new big thing makes no sense to me.
I think he's going to have a weak run in NXT, but make a quick jump to the main roster when the LWO needs an extra member.
Yeah, and then he's going to become a secondary LWO guy. He's never going to win a big title.
I think he may go on a run with Ray together.
Yeah, as a tag champions.
Yeah,
I'll take that.
That's my thought, at least. But I mean, Noam Dar goes over, like you said, in a weird rules, like 5 rounds, 3 minutes each, and if you get 2 pinfalls before the 5 rounds is over, you win. Or if you get disqualified, which he should have been. They even made mention to this in the 3rd round. Noam Dar hits him like after the bell. He gives him that back elbow, and he should have been disqualified right then and there. But they let it go because Noam Dar had to win. So it was a match. It wasn't a bad match. And going back to what I was saying about Noam Dar, this is the thing he's always suffered from, is he's a good wrestler, always suited with a bad gimmick.
Yeah, the character is just stupid.
Yeah.
It's like everybody on NXT is that character.
He looks like Ali G.
Oh my god, he does look like Ali G.
That's what he reminds me of. You know how Ali G was like that fake Brit with the
Yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah.
That's good. I like that.
Yeah. But I mean, Noam Dar wins 2-1. Next we go
Oh,
into
you know what I said? I
Mm.
figured it out. Sorry, because I didn't see it in the thing. I said that The Rock's daughter just looks literally like a tanned version of Harley Quinn, Smith, Kevin Smith's daughter.
Kevin Smith.
Like
10.
they look, the face is identical. I was
Yeah.
tripping out. Okay, anyway, sorry. Digress.
We go into our next match, which was a fantastic match. Ilya Dragunov versus Dijak.
Yeah, and I said this from the last match we watched. Dijak is so underappreciated, getting stuck in that dumb feud with those dumb fake Italians.
Yeah.
I mean, well, the one
D'Angelo.
guy's not fake, but it's like it's good to see him wrestle somebody else good. Dragunov is such an absolute monster. It's crazy to me that he's not champion.
Yeah, I think that's the next step against Carmelo Hayes. I think this feud with Braun is finally over. Spoilers, but I think Dragunov is going to be put into the main event picture. He has to be. He has to be. And did you see when he jumped off the steps and he landed on Dijak's boot? He split his chin open, and for 10 minutes he was lying on the ground. And the ref was not counting. The ref was counting Dijak, and the camera was on Dijak the whole time because they didn't want to count Dragunov out because he was getting administered.
Yeah, and also there was a really like cringeworthy moment, like not because it was bad, just the way that it looked when he took the Singapore cane or what the kendo stick, and he was rubbing it on his chin on that spot. I was like,
so that got you, but the staples to the mouth on PCO
that's okay. That doesn't get me. The blood spraying out of Burt Macklin's head, FBI, was like crazy.
Burt Macklin, FBI. But I mean, Dragunov goes over. It was a brutal match. There were some really good spots. And this really was only there were 6 matches, and this was only one of 2 gimmick matches on the show.
Yeah, and I didn't care that this was a gimmick match. It worked fine for me.
Yeah, because there was actual wrestling with some spots. So
Dragunov is so good.
Yes, he needs a bigger push. We take a dip after that. We get Gallus against the Creed brothers for the NXT Tag Team Championship.
Okay, and
once again, tanned Harley Quinn Smith gets involved.
I don't know. Like I'm truly starting to understand what you're saying about Gallus. Like I really just don't like them. They're very frustrating to watch. Because they're just so okay that it makes no sense that they're the champions. And I've turned down even more on the Creed brothers. Like I'm just so tired of them.
Yeah. And the thing is, out of all of them, Julius Creed is the best worker, and he has the highest potential out of all of these people in this group.
Yeah. And he didn't do shit in this match.
No. It was all, what's his name? The round boy, Brutus.
This was just such an okay match. Yeah. And it's like, it's so strange that your tag division is you putting 2 not that good teams against each other for the belt. Like Pretty Deadly was just special. Like it's crazy without
and they're
them,
doing great on NXT on SmackDown right now.
Yeah, I saw a bunch of that stuff, so I'm glad for that.
Yeah. So even though they disappeared after they were locked in the car, and
that's WWE.
That's WWE booking, exactly. Yeah, Gallus goes over. Ava Raine gets involved, so this is going to lead to that Schism versus Gallus, and Schism is finally going to win the belts, I think. So we'll see. But I mean, it wasn't a bad match, but this wasn't the best match on the show. This was probably the worst match of the show.
Yeah, that's fair.
So with that, from such a low point, we go to such a great high point. We get the finals of the NXT Women's Championship match. Tiffany Stratton versus Lyra Valkyria in the tournament finals. Now, Stratton has beaten a lot of big names to get to the finals, and so has Valkyria.
Well, from the very first moment 2 pay-per-views ago when I first met Lyra Valkyria, I said it that
She's destined for great.
She's one of the best talents they've ever had on NXT in the women's division. And like already good, like minus like your Charlotte Flairs and stuff, but in a long time, man. It's crazy to see how little play she got at all until now.
Yeah.
And the outcome of this match really upset me. Like,
really,
I understand that it
I
sets
thought
up
it
a
was
feud.
I thought this was a great match. Like Tiffany Stratton really impressed me.
I will allow that for this specific match because I think the match went good but it was a lot of Lyra carrying Stratton. This is my issue with
But
WWE.
Stratton also does have like a decent move set. It's not like she has a bad like.
I agree.
And I think before, sorry to cut you off, but what I wanted to say about this match, though, it didn't suffer what the WWE women's match suffers from. Go, stop, and I do my spot. And this just kept moving, and I will give
her credit for this. But this is my issue that I'm taking from this is so Valkyria is by far the better wrestler. It's not even close. Stratton is fine. She still has that greenness. She's still not polished. I don't know how high her ceiling is. She's like, no offense, she's not very good looking.
They're trying to get the next Mandy Rose with her.
But this is my point, right? After all those things I named, also the crowd doesn't feel strongly about her as a face or a heel. So I find it so weird that this was your choice of a title. Because when you look at WWE booking, okay, first of all, like I said, she's not that great of a wrestler. Second, but that's not a WWE thing. She's not the greatest looking wrestler they've ever had, which that's a WWE go-to. Yeah. And the only other thing is, does she have heat or is she a strong face? She doesn't have either of those.
No.
So to choose her over the one that everyone was backing, to me,
by her winning though, spoilers for that,
it builds a thing.
It creates heat for her. You know what I mean?
And it builds a story for them where she has to make a comeback. But when you look at what's happening on the main roster, you're just Cody Rhodesing her. Like how are you doing the same story in 3 different championship sections? You got the Usos getting knocked back down and having to build back up. You have Cody Rhodes getting knocked back down and getting built back up. And now you're doing it again
with Valkyria. Yeah.
Oh, and you did it with oh my God. What's her name that lost the title to Asuka?
Oh, Bianca Belair.
So 4 times you're doing the same storyline. Yeah. Is this just to see which one is going to work best? I don't understand the logic. That's what bothers me.
Well, one's in every division. You got a women's division one, you got a tag division one, you got a solo division one.
But it's like, if you're trying to do the same story too many times, and I don't get it. And I just think that, I mean, it is what it is. Like I said, this match was really good.
It was.
And you could tell Valkyria definitely got hurt during this match.
Yes. And I think that's another reason why they probably put it on Stratton.
Yeah, that could be why. But either way, I'm not upset with her winning. I just think from WWE logic standpoint, it didn't make sense for me. Because it's like you negated all the things that you normally go for.
Yeah.
And but I want to shout out to this one thing. Okay. This is not even a shout out. Booker T started off this event so well. The first 2 matches, he was going so well. Yes. And then for the rest of the pay-per-view,
once the women's match started,
even before from the last match, he just devolved into this strange, screaming psychopath that had no idea what he was saying, stuttering through everything where he couldn't remember the one thing I told you where he turned into like a bumbling Bill Cosby. He's like, I was like, what is happening? He went, and it's like, who's the other guy? I always forget his name.
I don't know. It doesn't matter.
He always has to like come in and cut off Booker T because Booker T's not saying anything.
Vic Joseph. Yeah.
He's just and you're like, okay.
And then all of a sudden it's shucky ducky quack quack. Like, okay.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. At least he's not giving anybody any Jello pudding pops.
I was happy because that was good. He started off the pay-per-view being better than he's ever been. And I was like, okay, we're in for a good show today. And then
I really honestly think they have nobody to put in there. So it's like, here's Booker T.
He brings name clout, big name clout to this. Plus a lot of his trained wrestlers are part of NXT right now.
Yeah, that's true too. So he's also like acts as a coach kind of thing. And yeah, but like I said, Stratton goes over. Valkyria is probably hurt, so that's the reason why they probably put Stratton over. But I kind of like this storyline that they're building.
I think they meant to do it. I don't think it was because of that.
And I think Stratton, contrary to what I said a few months ago, I think Stratton has a higher ceiling. Like
That's fine.
than what I gave her initially.
And I don't doubt it either, because this is the most impressive match she's ever wrestled. I just think at the end of the day, she's still super green compared
Yeah,
to
she's still
Lyra
fairly new,
Valkyria.
but if she puts the time and effort into it, like she was trained by Greg Gagne, and that alone, like, and she's from Minnesota, so people from Minnesota always have that wrestling pedigree.
Yeah, and she does have that like mixed martial arts look to her visually.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see where she goes from here. Next we go into our main event: Carmelo Hayes and with Trick Williams against Braun Breaker for the NXT Championship.
Get rid of Trick Williams. Jesus Christ already.
Yeah.
He poses with him in the opening of the match.
Yeah, it's like, get out of here. Like,
you don't even do anything.
I don't even think he's wrestled, has he?
I don't know, but doesn't do anything.
Yeah,
why is
he's
he
supposed
here?
he's supposed to be his hype man.
But he hypes himself. Have you ever heard Carmelo talk? He's freaking amazing.
Yeah. You know how we were saying about Carmelo's character. If Carmelo can get rid of Trick and just create this own character for himself, I think he's going to be great.
He's the type of guy that you carry him as like The Rock or something like that, where he doesn't need anyone else. He refuses help. I can do this on my own type of guy, you know? I don't need to be part of a faction.
Like a Steve Austin kind of thing, too.
Yeah, where he's like a lone wolf that just does what he does.
Moxley, when Moxley was on his own kind of thing. And
I think that could be a crazy situation.
Yeah. But other than that, this was a good match. It wasn't a bad match.
No, that match was really good. Braun Breaker keeps getting better. Melo's the best wrestler that's ever existed on the NXT roster.
Yeah, I agree. Melo retains.
Not ever, but
okay, but Melo retains. I mean,
Yeah.
you did have Seth Rollins at one time in NXT, so
I mean, you did also have Pac, who's like,
and Nakamura,
yeah,
and Finn Balor. So
exactly.
let's take it down a notch, kid.
But right now,
yeah, he's the best
between
wrestler
him and
currently.
Dragunov.
Yeah, and even like you said, Braun Breaker's improving.
He's so over as a heel. It's crazy.
Yes, I'm so glad they turned him heel because he's working. He does so well as a heel.
His heat levels are forest fire right now.
Yeah.
Shout out to all the forest fires in Canada right now. There's like 5 different ones
all over the country. But yeah, I hope everybody's okay. But yeah, this was a good match. Carmelo retains. Melo's on a different level. And this was usually too in a homecoming match, the home person loses.
Yeah.
The hometown hero loses.
Which we'll see coming up tomorrow. But yeah, it's
this show definitely better than the last one we reviewed, the Double or Nothing. NXT is slightly with every event they keep improving, so I'm looking forward to what they're going to offer next.
Do you have the sheet open?
Yeah, got it right here.
Okay, so for purposes of purposing, what did I score the last NXT?
The last NXT, which was was it Backlash? No, Spring Breakin'. You gave it a 7.
And what was the one before that? See, I'm putting him on the spot here, guys. I want to see.
Worries. Which was Stand and Deliver, which was a 7.9.
Okay. What would you rate this pay-per-view?
Kind of in between there. I'm going a 7.5-ish.
You know what? I don't like the idea that it seems like we're giving same scores.
Right.
Because it comes off like that sometimes. But
okay, I can go slightly better.
No. I'm not giving it a 7.5.
Okay.
I wasn't going to, but 7.6.
Okay. Which is still very similar. Yeah, NXT keeps improving. They keep putting out decent shows.
Yeah. Like I enjoyed this. It was for what it is, it's quality, and it's like I don't have to pay $50 for this.
And it wasn't long, and it was entertaining.
Yeah.
Just keep me entertained. You could tell now that Vince is no longer involved in NXT and Shawn Michaels has his fingers more in it, that it's starting to.
And this is the thing, to lose all the pieces that they lost and still be able to do the last 2 pay-per-views.
Yeah,
is crazy.
There's no Grayson Waller. There's no Zoe Stark. There's no.
They were ready for this, and good for them. This is back to the Dusty Rhodes booking of.
Yeah, it's right now. It's who's booking it. It's Shawn Michaels. It's the Road. Which one?
And it's Prince Albert, whatever his name
Yeah.
is now, and Road Dogg.
And Road Dogg, and what's her name does the women's? Molly Holly.
Oh, Molly Holly's doing really well, actually.
Yeah. So
good, fantastic, love it. Everything's going great. Keep it going. And you know what? The trade-off of paying for New Japan and you paying for the WWE network has really paid off, because they've been giving us free content. That's been great. Dominion was free. Dontaku was free. The tournament, the juniors was free.
shows are free.
All the NXT shows are free.
All the WWE shows are free.
It's fantastic. AEW, take some kind of a note here. At least just lower the cost of your goddamn pay-per-views.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy, the cost of the pay-per-views. But yeah, it's funny because when they charge me $49.99 for the pay-per-view and then 1 cent for the pre-show.
Yeah, and then I watch the pre-show anyways on YouTube because it never works on Fight TV.
Yeah. Well, I watch it through Bell, right through their Fibe.
I watched this one through Bell, and that's when it screwed up for me.
Yeah. The show itself is fine, and the thing about about Fibe is at least you can record it and keep it if you ever want to go back and watch it.
Well, my fights are all stored too.
Yeah. So okay, that's good. So with that out of the way, match of the night. I'm going with the women's match.
Dijak.
Yeah. That was Dave Meltzer's best. He almost gave it a 5-star. He gave it a 4.75 that match.
Yeah, it was really good. It was really good.
Yeah, and he gave the women's match a 4. So
yeah, women's match was good. Every match. Okay, the worst match here was the tag match.
Yeah,
and it was still a good match.
Yeah,
it's just I don't understand the logic of pairing 2 OK teams for the title.
But who do you have? You have no tag teams right now.
I understand that right now. They got to figure it out.
Yeah. So, but anyway, with that out of the way, we'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow will be our New Japan Dominion review with the main event against Sonata versus Yota Tsuji. So tune in tomorrow for that. And we'll see you all tomorrow. Goodbye and good night.